Hello, welcome to the fourth Wednesday noon yoga YouTube during the COVID-19 stay-at-home time. Welcome, happy you came. Before we start today, if you'd like to have a couple of homemade props from home, especially if your hip bothers you a little bit in pigeon, you can stop the video and run and get a towel you can roll up. Also, because we'll be on our knee, you might want to have a blanket or that same towel that you can spread out to cushion your knee. Okay, I'll put those aside for now. All right, so today I found a nice practice online and modified it. And in this practice, we'll be talking about opening the liver meridian. The liver meridian is where the chi moves up through the body, and it deals with two different things, anger and kindness. They're the flip side of each other. So we'll see if we can open up that meridian and get things flowing. Okay, so we're going to start out in hero pose, if this is accessible to you. So you'll just be sitting on your heels. Now, if that's uncomfortable, remember you can kneel on the blanket, and maybe it will help if you put a rolled up towel up here so you can sit. Okay. Or sit in Sukhasana, it's easy seated pose if this doesn't work for you. Okay, bringing your legs and ankles together. Beginning the practice, opening the liver meridian. Close your eyes. Begin your practice. Always beginning with the breath. Right now, begin to release some of the stress you might be carrying. Can be anywhere. Some of my common places are the jaw, my forehead, and always my shoulders. My shoulders tend to want to come up around my ears. And finding your pose, your posture with a nice upright spine. And I have a new mantra that we could think about today. Breathe in. I am now aware. Breathe out, letting go of emotions that do not serve me. Breathing in, I'm now aware. Exhale, letting go of emotions that do not serve me. Finding your own way through this breathing in and breathing out. Draw your breath through the opening in your throat so you can hear it and feel it moving in and out, the Ujjayi breath. Breathe in, I am now aware. Breathe out, letting go of emotions that do not serve me. Begin to lengthen and smooth your breaths, both coming in and going out. Breathe in, smile as you think these words, I'm now aware. Breathe out, letting go of emotions that do not serve me. Smile. blink your eyes open. Come down to both legs right up in front of you. Flex your feet back. Press out through the balls of the big feet, of the big toes, and reach out through your toes, coming back and forward. And then shake out those legs. Let's go into a neck release pose. A lot of the liver meridian comes up through the psoas and through the inner groin. So we're going to be working on releasing the quads and opening the heart. So with your left heel back by your left buttock, place your leg right there. And if that doesn't work for you today, you can always bring it to the inside. Okay. The other leg, the right leg, comes out at an angle, so you've got a V with your inner legs. Yeah, there you go. Inhale and lengthen. Spread out your fingers of your left hand. Come on over to your ankle and grab onto that ankle. Twist a little bit to the right. Rest your right elbow down on your thigh. And now we're just going to lean over to the right. So you're going to just lean and let that ankle grip be the only thing that's holding you up. And as you do that, let your neck go. So you might be looking down, or you might be looking sideways, whatever feels good to you. We're just hanging here. I am now aware, letting go of emotions that do not serve me. Now bring your right hand out to the side of your right leg. Straighten that leg out. And with an inhalation, take that left arm and just sweep it all the way up to a nice opening of the left ribs. Yeah, and you can continue to let your neck go. Turn your head so that you're looking down at that straight knee. Bring your fingertips to either side of the long leg, and then take your right hand back, and we're just going to let our neck go as we sweep on up to a nice reach. From the left knee out through the fingertips, opening up this whole line here. Should feel good. Coming back, let your head come down, roll right around forward, underneath, in front of those toes. Come to grab onto your ankle, swirl on up. And now maybe your right elbow will come down in the inside of your right knee, and you can press against that, or your hand, so you can open up to the sky. And release that hand, that left arm, up again. Let your neck go. Sweeping around to the back. This time maybe your elbow will come down, maybe it won't. And we're going to come in to a nice back bend, really opening that heart up to the sky. Let your head just fall back. And then I'm having to change my direction because of all these orchids that my husband raises. And come on back up to the same situation where you're hanging on to your left ankle with your left hand. And then come on up, helping your head to rise. Bring the left leg out for a wide angle. Inhale and lengthen. Flex those feet back. Wiggle around a little bit, maybe coming into a forward tip. So your tailbone now is reaching back through that back wall. Get nice and long. Let's go to the other side. Bending the right knee this time, bringing the right heel back. If it works for you, finding that nice wide V, little twist to the right. Just rest your elbow down on your left thigh for now. And take that right hand and get a good grip on that ankle. Yeah. And then lean. It's an arm stretch, it's a shoulder stretch, it's a neck release. Find the breath. Start slowly rotating your head so that you're looking down at the left knee. Bring your left hand and your right hand to either side of the straight leg. Straighten up. And then let's go into this nice opening. So the left hand is coming back and the right arm comes up and reaches. So find that whole opening all the way up to your fingertips. And if this left elbow is jammed up here, you can take it down. I mean left shoulder, excuse me. And smile. Let your neck go. Coming on back, just let your head loll, just like it's lolling to the front. Coming around, grabbing that ankle, sweeping back up. Now the left elbow can come down, or the left hand to the inside of the straight leg. And come into the side bend, releasing the ankle, reaching out. Opening up. Active feet, active hands. Left hand back behind you, perhaps being down on the elbow, maybe just with the elbow bent. And now we're going to just sweep up and lift up our hearts and reach up into a gentle back bend. And let your head pivot down as we come around and use our hand to come up. Let's come into wide angle forward bend one more time. Cross your ankles in front of you. I have something to read. In this practice, we will be addressing the liver meridian associated with both anger and kindness. Traditional Chinese medicine holds that when qi is blocked along the liver meridian, anger, irritability, and frustration can arise. Emotions you might experience in a traffic jam or upon encountering a messy kitchen after having spent hours cleaning it up. In today's poses, qi is unblocked along these pathways, allowing us to learn how to be with our bad mood without being dominated by it. The flip side of anger is kindness. Okay, let's move into toe squat. So come on up onto your knees, turn the balls of your toes down, and then you're going to sit back on your heels. Now, if this is too much for you, if you can really feel that too intensely, you can put a rolled up blanket or towel there, or you might even be able to find something I didn't tell you to rest your hands on. You can come forward and rest your fingertips on the floor and release some of that pressure. So spread your toes out away from each other. And be with this pose. It might make you grumpy and grouchy. See if you can just be with it. Let go of emotions that do not serve you. If you're getting a cramp or something, you can come out of the pose for a little while and then come back into it. What do you feel in this pose? Is there a difference between your left and your right foot? Is it bothering you more along the arch than the outside of the foot? Breathe into that discomfort and see if you can relax around it. Remember, you can always come forward onto your fingertips and lessen up on the intensity of this pose. Toe squat. Find the breath again. Breathe in. I am now aware. Breathe out, letting go of emotions that do not serve me. And then let's come out of that pose. Turn your feet so you're on the top of your foot now. This whole ankle is a place where the qi can be blocked along the liver meridian. And so that's what we're working now. So once again, sitting down on your heels. Spread your toes out if you can. And then bring your hands back behind you. You can be up on your fingertips. You can be down on your hands. Some of you might even come down into your elbows. And start opening up your heart in a gentle back bend. Maybe your knees will come right up off the floor. They don't have to. Draw your shoulder blades together and down your back. And then help yourself up. Back to hero's pose. Stand up. And we're going to dangle now. So keep soft knees for this forward bend. You're just going to bend your knees and come forward. Let yourself arch forward. And you can be hanging on to your legs or your hands on your thighs, your ankles. Find some good security for yourself as you dangle. And breathe. Let your head hang. It's a good neck release. If you're not feeling sensation in your hamstrings or your lower back, you might want to grab onto your wrists behind you. Otherwise, just keep your arms. You can keep them like this. You can grab onto your elbows to dangle. Whatever serves you. Some of you might grab onto your elbows behind you. Find a good forward dangle and enjoy it. What do you feel opening in this pose? Lift your toes up off the floor and spread them out. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Now moving into squat. Turn your feet out or 45 degrees angles away from each other and come down into a squat. Now, if this is difficult for you, if you have knee issues, you can be in this kind of a squat. Garland pose. Elbows inside the knees, hands in namaste. The reason it's called garland pose is in the full pose, the arms wrap around you like a garland, and maybe they'll reach your buttocks. Maybe some people can even clasp their arms behind them. My shoulders don't feel open enough for that kind of thing right now, so I won't demonstrate. You know, one of the factors I liked about this class that I found online is that the teacher is using different names for the poses. So we're going to come into something called tadpole, which is what we call child's pose. I sort of like the idea of tadpole. So come to your hands and knees. Bring your heels together, your knees out. Reach your hands out in front of you and reach your hips back. Get nice and long in the side body. Bring your forehead down. Bring your hips down and back. And release. Moving into frog, come up to elbows and knees. Walk your knees out to the edge of your mat. If it's comfortable, walk your ankles out there too and flex your feet back. And now reach your hips back, and this is frog pose. If that doesn't feel good, child, you get another chance at child's pose. As I mentioned before, the flip side of anger or frustration is kindness. Can you find kindness toward yourself? And then come on back up to hands and knees. I've got a different kind of ab work that worked for me. We'll see how it works for you. So we're going to start out on tabletop, hands and knees. Let's do a couple of cat and cow first before we get into the ab work. So inhale, let your belly drop, stick up your tailbone, and then draw your heart forward so you're really opening the front of your body. Exhale, move into cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Come back to tabletop. Bring your right knee forward by your right wrist and come down into a gentle pigeon pose. And then come back to hands and knees. Inhale, bring the left knee forward. Come into an upright pigeon. And come back. Okay, let's add the ab work. We're going to move really slowly. That right knee is going to lift up and you're going to just be holding onto your abs as you slowly, not hurting anything, bring that knee up, drop it, and then breathe in as you extend the belly. Again, exhale, draw your belly up, slowly bring that knee back. Inhale. Pause your breath. Exhale, slow go all the way up, using your core. Inhale into pigeon. Exhale, draw into your core as you use your core to bring that knee back. Inhale, big inhale. Pause your breath. Exhale again. Right knee coming up, hovering, and then dropping. And then inhale and extend the belly. Exhale, pull up. Inhale, tabletop. Pause your breath, draw up into your belly. Use that core to lift your knee up and bring it slowly forward to the left wrist. And then breathe in as you extend. One more on each side. Drawing back. Let's speed it up a little bit. Coming on in. Exhaling back. In. Exhaling back. I'm going to give you a couple of variations of what she calls, what does she call it? Sleeping swan, which we've always called pigeon. So bring the right knee forward, keep the knee nice and bent, and then you can reach this left leg back, again opening up the liver meridian. Here's where you can use a blanket or a towel if you want to put under the right hip so it isn't just up in the air and it can rest. Second variation would be to come down on that right hip, come into deer pose, so your left shin is parallel with the side of your mat, your right shin is parallel with the front, and then come forward into this variation of pigeon. Third variation would be to leave this front leg where it is, take the left leg back, and this variation of pigeon. So we're going to be into the sleeping swan, so find your position you want. You might want to bend that knee, you might want to be in deer pose, or you might want to be in a fully extended, I can't quite get my shin parallel, but some of you might be able to do that. So find your position for pigeon pose. If you feel anything bad in the knee, take care of it. Bend that knee more. Use a bolster or a blanket. And you can put your head down and feel the pose. Reaching the left toes back, opening up that meridian. At the same time, opening up the right outer hip flexor, the buttock muscles, the glutes. Relax your shoulders. Let your swan sleep, sleeping swan. Come back to your full breath. I am aware. Letting go of emotions that do not serve me. Maybe your emotion right now is impatience. Okay, so with an inhalation, come up and let's be into pigeon with a nice open chest. A cooing pigeon. And then step back, lift back up to downward facing dog. Yeah. Pedal your dog a little bit. This time the left knee is going to come up by the left wrist. You're going to be in this traditional pigeon pose to start. To try it out on this side, reach back with that back leg, nice and long. Second variation, come down onto that left hip, bring the front shin parallel, the back shin parallel to the front of the mat, and the other parallel to the side of the mat. This is a kind of an interesting pose, and then come forward. And then the last variation would be to take that right leg back and come into pigeon. So find one of those three, and you can always move around. And let's do the sleeping swan on this side. So reaching that right leg back, resting in sleeping swan, giving it equal time. I miss seeing all of you in your poses. Okay, so come on out of pigeon. Let's come on right on back to downward dog another time. Yeah. Spread your fingers out. Spread your toes out and see if you can even lift your toes off the floor. Have active hands and active feet. And then draw your chest toward your thighs. Bend your elbows a little bit. See what happens there. Is your neck released? And then come down to your knees and sit back. Okay, we're going to do something called dragon cycle. And what is the name of this? I can't remember the name of the woman. Her last name was Quirt, Q-U-I-R-T, who did this practice, and I really liked it. The dragon cycle deeply stimulates the liver meridian. It may be because of this that people can become quite grumpy in dragon. This can be a good thing because emotions are brought to the forefront as chi is unblocked along these pathways, allowing us to learn how to be with our frustration without being dominated by it. This isn't a practice that will happen all at once, but hopefully this practice will bring us a little closer to this, to learn how to be with our frustrations, our anger, our bad moods without letting them dominate us. Okay, so there are 4 parts to dragon pose. Let's start out standing up. Come to the front of your mat, palms together. We'll do a little salutation to get into this. Find your breath. Big inhale. I am aware. Exhale, release your hands. Let go of emotions that do not serve you. Breathing in, arms overhead. Exhale, forward bend. up your left foot, put your left knee behind you, and just come into what she's calling dragon flying high. But we'll start out just like this with our fingertips on the floor. Come onto the top of your back foot, even up your hips. And bring your hands up to your right knee and press down and get high. Get a dragon flying high. Yeah. You can lower your hips, bring them closer to your right heel, and find that meridian that we're opening. Relax your shoulders. If you'd like to come all the way up into Anjanasana, we'll do that. And now dragon flying low. Bring your hands down to the inside of your front foot. We call this lizard. Take your right foot out a little bit to the side and turn it out at maybe an angle if that works for you. And then start lowering yourself, bending your elbows. Maybe you can use your folded up blanket either under your knees or under your elbows. Coming down to dragon flying low. Let your head go. I'm going to turn around so you can see the next part. Can you still see me when I'm up here, Arnica?
Yes.
Okay. Moving into winged dragon. So you can bring your head up, come onto the outer edge of your front foot, let the knee fall out to the side, and you can come back down again. It's a totally new opening here. So your right knee is falling out to the side. You're on the outside of the top of the front foot. I hope you're not feeling grumpy. Get long. Release the left inner groin as it comes closer to the floor. And then come up again onto your hands. This is the last one. Plant that front foot so it's staying down. Bring your right hand to the outside of the inside of that knee, and then push the knee and the hand together as you open your heart up to the sky. And let your head go. Let me get sideways here so you can see. Twisting dragon. Here we go. Big opening. Is that left shoulder hitching up under your knee, under your ear, draw it down. And let your neck go. We're really shortening up the length of time in these poses. This was a yin practice. It was in Teresa's department here. We'd be holding these poses longer, but we're keeping it into more of a flow. And then come out of that twisting dragon. Come back to elbows, hands and knees. Maybe come up into downward dog, why not? And then bring the left foot forward between the hands, drop the right knee, and here we are, standing dragon again on the other side. Whoa. Reach back with that right big toe. Let your hips come down and forward. Can you open your heart to this pose? Lifting the left toes up, reaching the right toes back. Find that line that travels up through your body. That is the liver meridian according to the Chinese traditional medicine. Qi is the flow of energy. We're unblocking that flow. If you'd like to come up into Anjanasana, go right ahead. If you'd like to leave your hands on your knees, that's good too. Opening up to the pose. Breathing. We didn't going to do this with the other side, but I like to take my hands back behind them, clasp them, and pull those shoulders down. Yeah, feels good. That's standing dragon. High dragon, is that what she called it? Flying high, dragon flying high. Now we're going to do dragon flying low. So take the left foot out to the side, to the left side a little bit. Turn the angle of the foot out if that feels good to you. And now come gently and slowly into this dragon flying low. This might be where your dragon is right now. That's fine. And maybe you can come down a little bit lower, maybe not. Find kindness. Kindness to your neck by letting your head dangle. Smooth, sustained breath. Breathe into those areas that are blocked, they feel blocked right now. Coming on up for winged dragon. So we're coming up, we're tipping that left knee out, coming up onto the outside edge of the foot. And you can put your hand on that knee to coax it a little bit. And then bring both hands or both forearms to the floor. The left hip is opening here. The left knee is coming out to the side. Each of these dragon poses in Dragon Cycle work different places in the body, as you will notice. Winged dragon. Come on up for twisting dragon. Left hand is on your knee. Now place the whole foot down, the whole left foot down. And you're just going to use that hold onto the knee with your hand to open up, get really long. Remember the side body work we've been doing since day one. Coming up in to a nice twist. Can you let your head go? You can take the arm out. We didn't do it on the other side, but it just feels right. Or how about out to the front of your mat, so you're really reaching out. Maybe coming down a little bit lower. Twisting dragon. And then release back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips way up to the sky. Get up on your fingertips and your toe tips and walk forward. Dangle again, bend your knees. Wiggle around, get comfy, let your neck go. Bring your hands to your hips and starting at the bottom of your spine, the base of your spine, your tailbone, roll up one vertebra at a time so your head will be the last thing to come up. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Okay. After Dragon Cycle, I added a pose that I think we'll be really warmed up for, and then we'll be finishing the practice. And that's Lord of the Dance, Natarajasana. And most of you know this one, but let's take it and see what we can do with it. I'll come to the side. So starting out in Tadasana, find that tree you have where you're growing right up through the center of the trunk, so you're getting nice and tall. Bend your left knee, bring it up to your chest, give it a little squeeze, and then slide your hand down to your ankle or your shin. And I want to have that left knee going straight down. You've got a nice open quad now. Flex that back that foot that's up in the air. Now remember, you're going to be lifting your heart for this pose and drawing your tailbone down so you don't scrunch the waist of your spine. Draw that left foot away from you and let your collarbone open. At the same time, you can bring your right arm up. And I like to do a little mudra here, touching my index finger and my thumb, lifting your heart, coming into Lord of the Dance pose. And breathe. And then coming out as gracefully as a dance master to Tadasana. How's that feel? Find Tadasana, find that home place of Tadasana. And let's go to the other side. Equal weight on left and right feet, zipping up through the center, trying to maintain the core here. Relax your shoulders. Bend the right knee, bring it up and give it a good hug. Everything should be pretty much nice and open now. Grabbing onto your ankle or your shin. Meet those two knees. They're going to meet each other. We're opening up this whole meridian. And now draw that right foot back, opening up the right collarbone area. And lifting up into Nadarajasana. If you come out of it, as I just did, just come back in. One more big breath in Nadarajasana. And then coming out gracefully to Tadasana. Big smile here. One last pose to warm down. Come down to your mat, onto your backs. Yeah. Squeeze your left knee to your chest and reach out with your right heel. Get nice and long in there, opening up the meridian. And then cross your left knee across your body, only as far as it will go, where you're still maintaining kind of lying on your back. Put your hand gently on that knee. You can have a blanket under that knee if that feels better. And let your left shoulder relax toward the floor. Let your mind enjoy this pose. Release everything you can. Breathe in. I am aware. Breathe out, letting go of emotions that do not serve me. Smile. You can return to this pose at any time. You can hold this pose for a long time. With an inhalation, bring that left knee back, give it a good squeeze in, really love it up. And that leg comes straight. Bringing the right knee up to your chest, giving yourself a good hug. And I like to really reach out with that left leg. It just feels nice. Here we go to the twist. So now the right knee comes over to the left. And notice I'm not going all the way to the floor right now. You could do that. I guess you could. Then let your right shoulder release. Yeah, that would be better. Those are some powerful muscles in that buttock. We climbed Trail 3, the Gold Hill Trail yesterday, and all those switchbacks really worked my glutes, so this is really nice for me. I hope it is for you. With an inhalation, bring that knee back, squeeze it in, come into just a minute to be a playful baby. And when you're ready, reach your legs out for Shavasana. Let it go. Lying in Shavasana. Taking a rest. Peace is this moment without judgment. Do you think peace requires an end to war? Or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss, your spouse, yourself? Do you think peace will come some other place than here, some other time than now, in some other heart than yours? Peace is this moment without judgment. That is all. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace is this moment without thinking that it should be some other way, that you should feel some other thing, that your life should unfold according to your plans. Peace is this moment without judgment, this moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Begin to deepen your breath. Start those tiny movements to gently wake yourself from Shavasana. Draw your knees up to your chest and treat yourself with kindness. Give yourself a big hug. Everybody would like a hug right now from themselves. Release your hands, roll to one side. With a soft neck, come up to seated. Bring your palms together. None of us are able to live without frustration, without anger, without bad moods. But maybe we can learn to endure those times, to open up to those times, recognize they're okay, and find kindness. May you feel peace. Namaste.